Good afternoon, everybody. Entrance into the small objective world is possible after the invention of optical microscopy, which offer us to analyze the small objective into submicron design. But the expectation of human being has no limit, so we invented a new technique, which is scanning probe microscope. The main The key point of this microscope is probe, which is acting with samples, and the interacting force between sample and the probe is the key point of measurement of any small objective, which offer us the imaging into 30 nanometer. In optical microscope, in contrast, optical microscope offer us the imaging in small objective into 200 nanometer. So the probe fabrication become very interesting to the researcher working on the relevant area. Next slide. So the probe fabrication become very interesting to the people working on this relevant area. The optical fiber probe nearly cost of average quality optical fiber probe is 2 lakhs, but there is mainly, next slide. There is mainly two techniques of fabrication of optical fiber probe: cooling under mechanical heating, mechanical cooling under laser heating, and chemical etching. In chemical etching, the most common chemical etching technique is buffer hydrofluoric acid etching technique, which offer us more time for etching, and also maintaining the buffer state is very tough. So I am trying to fabricate this probe in some homemade technique, which is completely homemade and handmade in my lab. In this technique, I have made the optical fiber by direct hydrofluoric acid etching technique. Completely my laboratory setup, which is abandoned as rejected thing, and in this technique I have invented. This is my experimental setup for optical fiber probe fabrications. Next slide, please. First, I have dipped the optical fiber into acetone solutions to remove the jacket of the fiber. Next, this is the pencil shaped tip of optical fiber, which is used for microscopic use. Next slide, please. And this is selective etching technique completely in my lab setup. In this technique, I have dipped the optical fiber into hydrofluoric acid directly, and first move it forward, and after that backward, so that the end of the tip of the fiber content more time with the contact of acid, so that we will get the sharp tip of the fiber. Next slide, please. This is the microscopic picture of my optical fiber probe. Next slide, please. This is the versatile application of optical fiber tip, which presently, in my knowledge, not fabricated in our country. We are hiring from abroad in higher cost. Next slide. This is the applications of different field of optical fiber probe. Next slide, please. This is the near field scanning optical microscopy of this tip. Basically, my target is to fabricate this optical fiber probe tip, and I have completely made in my laboratory setup, simple laboratory setup. Next slide, please. This is the conventional imaging by scanning optical microscope. Next slide, please. And this is the conclusions of my research, that we need some more appropriate test, and for broad sense, that is in commercial sense, I need more analysis in this technique. Next slide, please. And this is the future scope and aim of my research.